Hey folks, Mordruk666 here with an absolutely overpowered Star Wars Squadrons fleet battle strategy. Welcome to Bombergeddon, as today I'll review the best bomber loadouts and attack strategies for you to earn a quick fleet battles victory, level up, and gain some glory. First things first, let's go over the best loadouts for the TIE Bomber and Y-Wing classes. You're going to want to set up two custom loadouts for each of these starfighters, both of which will be exactly the same save for one big difference: your laser cannons. Starting with the TIE Bomber class, your first loadout should be the following. For a primary weapon, you'll want the ion cannon. Left auxiliary, the assault shield. Right auxiliary, Goliath missiles. Countermeasures, sensor jammer, the hull, dampener hull, and for the engine, ion jet engine. The ion cannons will help you quickly take out shields for the defensive ships, being frigates, cruisers, raiders, or corvettes. The assault shield will come in handy when you approach and park next to larger ships, while the Goliath missiles will deal decent damage with the ability to lock on target at a close range. The sensor jammer will help fend off enemy missiles while you make your attack, and the dampener hull will give you less damage from lasers. Finally, the ion jet engine will give you some much needed boosts to quickly traverse the battlefield and zone in on your targets. The only difference for the second loadout is that you want your primary weapon to instead be the rotary cannon. This weapon is an absolute beast and will not only cut down enemy starfighters in seconds, but will do an insane amount of damage to enemy capital ships and subsystems. For the Y-Wing class, create the equivalent two loadouts as the TIE Bomber. The component names are nearly identical, save for ray shields and jet engine. Next, let's review the most efficient attack strategies to quickly crush the opposing team. The same strategy applies to both TIE Bomber and the Y-Wing classes, just with subtle differences. The TIE Bomber might not have any shields compared to the Y-Wing, but it does have the ability to route additional power to either the engines or lasers. Use this ability! When traversing towards a target, get full power to your engines and route additional power to them as well. Conversely, when you approach your target, put full power to your lasers and reroute additional power to match. The Y-Wing doesn't have this power rerouting ability, but you can set 100% of your shield's energy to the front of your ship when attacking. Otherwise, boost power to engines and lasers at the appropriate times. When the fleet battles round begins, you'll want to start with your ion cannon loadout. Avoid the enemy players and instead focus on the raider or corvette, which spawns just behind the first wave of starships. The strategy is simple. When it comes to raiders, corvettes, cruisers, or frigates, your primary objective should be to take out their shields. If it isn't already obvious, taking out their shields leaves the ship vulnerable to heavy attack damage. Important to note for frigates and cruisers, their shields do not regenerate. More on that in a second. Once the shields of your target ship are down, fire off a quick Goliath missile, then immediately head back to your capital ship to swap out your ion cannons with the rotary cannon loadout. Max out your engines and quickly boost back to your target ship, then open fire and let them have it. The combination of rotary cannons with the Goliath missiles will make short work of whatever ship you're trying to take down. Now here's an important tip related to taking down the two defensive ships, the frigates or cruisers. Your initial goal should be to take down the shields of each ship with ion cannons. Once the shields are down for one, stop attacking and quickly target the second ship. Ideally, and as long as your team is somewhat competent, you should be able to take down both sets of shields in one pass. Once the shields are down for both defensive ships, return to your capital ship and equip the rotary cannon loadout, then return to finish them off. The battlefield should now be clear of any remaining obstacles, and the assault on the capital ship can begin. When attacking the capital ship, do not use your ion cannon loadout. Equip those rotary cannons! That's because the shields for the capital ship are just too strong to take out in one pass as a bomber with those ion cannons, and because the shields of the capital ship regenerate by the time that you die, respawn, and return to the capital ship, whatever damage you've done to the shields will have been negated. Instead, you should focus on the two shield generator subsystems first. On your approach to the capital ship, do not just boost in a straight line towards the capital ship and fight it head on. Go the fuck around! Head off to either the far left or right of the map and circle in on the capital ship so you approach it from the side. This will increase your likelihood of success, as the majority of turrets and weapon systems are on the front of the ship. Additionally, swinging around from the sides of the map will make you less of a target for enemy starfighters, as you want to stay off their radar for as long as possible. If you can manage to take out the shield generators on the ship within the first or second wave of the initial assault, your team will be at a huge advantage. Taking these out early on in the battle will not only give your fellow bombers the ability to lock on and fire missiles from a distance, but will give the attacking corvette or raider extended usefulness, as any damage they deal to the capital ship will be against hull damage and therefore permanent. In fact, it's almost a certainty that the first team to lose shield generators for their capital ship will lose the battle outright. At this point, you should then focus on either of the remaining two subsystems, power or targeting. Power is probably a good bet, as it'll create weak points throughout the ship that can yield high hull damage. But if your team keeps getting mowed down by turrets on the assault, go for the targeting subsystem instead. Follow these steps and you'll find yourself on the fastest path to Fleet Battle's victory, so you can quickly level up and continue customizing your starfighters. Even if your team isn't especially effective, these tips should help give you enough of an advantage to push towards a win. Did you find these tips helpful, or have additional strategies to share? Let me know down in the comments. Take it easy!